How you doing, Shell Point? This is Josh from the Band & Grill. Follow up in our series. We've made it to the side dish segment. So last time I showed you how to brine a turkey or any other kind of bird for that matter. And this time we're gonna do some sides. So I'm gonna breeze through them kind of quick. And I'm thinking about different people and different things, some staples, some different options for people. A real simple one, Acorn Squash. Great flavor this time of year, great price this time of year, and one of the most simple vegetables you ever cook. So anyway, I took the top off that, and use a good sized knife. This is, cutting a squash is not something you want to be trying to do with a small knife. You take that top piece off, let it sit so it's not rocking around, and then just go all the way through. And I'm just gonna do a couple of these real quick to show you. There's not much prep you gotta do to this, not much cleaning you have to do to it. Take that out, I'd say 375 is a good number. Right here I have some melted butter. I'm gonna put the melted butter down first. That's gonna give me a little bit of adhesive, if you will, so the seasoning will stick to it. I like cinnamon. You could put pumpkin pie spice in there if you want, nutmeg, clove, allspice. I like a little honey. I'd say 375, 15 minutes. If that doesn't look like it's doing much for you, up that to 400. Everyone likes candied yams. Funny thing is, they're never yams. If you look at the candied yam can on your shelf at Publix or wherever you end up going and you read the ingredients, it will say sweet potato. So if you want to do them, yam is actually a giant white, pretty much flavorless root vegetable. I think I've only seen one real yam in my life. So these sweet potatoes here, what I did is I peel them, slice them, toss them in a little bit of butter and salt and pepper. I roasted them until they're soft. They got a pretty decent sweetness to them. That can be your kind of gauge for what you're gonna do with them. I like the basic preparation of melted butter, cinnamon, marshmallows. These are some pecans. And one thing I would say when you do this, make sure your potatoes are relatively warm. You can cook your potatoes off the night before and put them in the fridge if you're trying. Thanksgiving Day is a lot of cooking, or any big holiday get together. It's a lot of cooking in one day. Get some of your stuff done the day before, but the next day let it sit out for an hour at room temperature. Pop it in the oven. Bring that cooking temperature up some so you can do the top just perfect and not worry about the rest of it being cold. So these are pretty warm already. And then I'm just gonna cook them until those marshmallows are golden brown. And that should take probably 10 to 15 minutes or so. Biggest staple in holiday dinners, everyone has it always, mashed potatoes, one of my favorites, one of my family's favorites. Couple tips and tricks and knowledge for you when you're making your mashed potatoes. A lot of things you have over and over and over again. It's always good, but every now and then it's just great and you're wondering, what did that person do different? The first and foremost thing you're gonna be doing, and this is where a lot of mashed potatoes never turn out great, they turn out good, is because they're not peeled properly. You'll see that people will leave the cracks on them, the eyes, the little bitter areas, every single discoloration, every single crack, that is bitterness. So when you put that into your water and you make your mashed potatoes out of it, you are lessening the amount of goodness you're gonna end up with. So, and don't get the potatoes that already had the little buds on them. Maybe they've been sitting around for a couple weeks, you haven't got to them. You don't want to use those. The texture's not going to be right. So firm potato, everything's peeled off of it, and I'm going to cut it into, I don't know, 3 pieces, maybe an inch. Very important, that goes into cold water. Another mistake that a lot of people make with mashed potatoes, they get their hot water boiling, they peel their potatoes, they cut it, it goes in there. Good mashed potatoes have an amazing texture. That amazing texture is because they're cooked just right. So that can only happen, first you gotta cut them the right size or they're not gonna cook evenly. And then when you put them in cold water, as that water heats up, the potato slowly heats up. When you throw a cold raw potato, room temperature potato if you will, into boiling hot water, it's 212 degrees, By the time that inside is cooked and breaking down, that outside is overcooked. It's mush. You're not going to get the texture. So these potatoes go into cold water with a very light amount of salt. I've already cooked some off so I can show you the mixing element of it. You can use whatever you like. People use half and half, people use milk. I like cream. The ratio of cream to butter that I use is 1 quart of cream to 1 pound of butter. Obviously that's a restaurant portion. It's a little excessive for at home. If you're at home, your sticks of butter are 1/4 pound sticks, so it would be 1/4 pound stick of butter to every cup of cream. The butter and the cream go in at the same time. I just put it on medium heat for about 10 minutes and turn it off. So I've drained my potatoes. First thing I'm doing, a little bit of salt and pepper. Butter and cream goes in there. You can always add more, can't take it away. So what I like to do at home is I'll start with a potato masher, and I'm trying to break that up, because another area where you can go wrong with mashed potatoes is you can actually overmix them, especially if you're using a beater. And especially if you cook your potatoes and then let them sit in the water. When your potatoes are done, drain the water and mix them. Don't let them sit in the water, don't drain them and let them sit around. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to control how much mixing I'm gonna be doing. So the potato mash, it breaks it up, but it really doesn't develop the starch. That's how you get gummy potatoes, is overdeveloping the starch. So if this was a potato masher, I got it broke down, I got the cream and butter incorporated, and now I'm gonna just pick a side and just mix the heck out of that side. A little bit of raw butter at the end, a little bit more salt and pepper. When you're making those potatoes, in the beginning is that you cook them for the right period of time. So, you know, the knife should penetrate easily, but even more so than that, you should see the potato almost want to fall apart. You know, I get so worried about overcooking them. A lot of times I undercook them by just a touch, you know, and check more than one. I've been, you know, even 20 years of cooking, I still make that mistake. I'll check a potato, I'm busy. Oh yeah, it's fine. And then I go to mix them and I get lumps because the potato I checked was fine, but the others weren't. I would love to make another 10 items, but these are basics that everyone has consistently, and probably from time to time you have it and it's better than not. So these are some basics to do stuff with. Adjust it, make it how you want. You like a little bit of sour cream in your mashed potatoes, that's fine. I had a buddy in culinary school, he used to like cream cheese in his mashed potatoes, that's fine. But the real basics of how do you peel them, how do you cut them, how do you cook them, that's how you get good mashed potatoes. And then you can take them and run with them however you like. Same with this, you want nuts, that's fine. You don't, that's fine too. If you want to put, you might want to put some chunks of pineapple in there and some coconuts on it, or almonds, you know, but the basic techniques that I'm trying to explain is going to give you a very, very flavorful starting point to do whatever you want with it. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.